When we create the xiaolongbaos, we actually want to bring the culture to the people. That's one of our philosophy for Din Tai Fung. So bringing the xiaolongbaos to our guests, we want to let the guests enjoy the culture from Taiwan. Hello, I'm James Fu. I am the head chef of DTF North America. We're here at Santa Monica location. So the key moment actually started when I was little. My grandma used to own 2 restaurants in Taiwan where I was exposed to the restaurant settings at a young age, and it was really fascinating to me to see how my grandma served the guests, as well as how my uncle cooks for our guests, both in teppanyaki as well as hot pots. And that's started my culinary journey. And the actual journey of DTF actually started in the year 2013, starting as a busser all the way up to a front of house manager. I spent roughly around 7 years at front of house, and the year 2020, that's where I took over the head chef positions. So in Din Tai Fung, xiaolongbao is not only our signature dish, it's actually our tradition, our culture. This means a lot because it goes back to our founders that we created these items, and back then we actually bring a lot of experienced chefs from Shanghai to help us create this dish. That is when we create a Din Tai Fung version of the golden ratio, as well as the perfect 18 folds, and we set that as our standard. We not only treated the xiaolongbaos as our dishes, it's in our spirits. Process, we're stretching our doughs, stretch and roll to ensure they're actually in a consistent width or diameter. So when we are cutting into each individual doughs, it's actually easier for us to make the wrappers. It's really important that every single piece is weighed around 5 grams. That's our specification for the dough cutting. And then as you see the stretching, we want to ensure the thickness of the dough roll. It's actually consistent from the beginning to the end. So we have to continuously roll it as the dough is stretching. As you know, we use high gluten flours in that blend, that it has really flexible or stretchy elastic texture, that it's a little bouncy. Now as you can see, we'll try to weigh every piece to ensure they're around 5 grams. And then we'll do the audits every 4 to 5 pieces to ensure the pieces are consistent for the next step of the rolling into the wrappers. You see all the cuts are having a sharp edge because the edge is where we push down and start the rolling. For the next step, we want to put it into a bag where we can let it rest a little bit. So usually we let it sit around 5 to 10 minutes before we can actually proceed to the next step. So it's just easier and it's more stretchy. So for Din Tai Fung, we don't actually follow trends. We want to honor our traditions and cultures. And then we want to stay current. We are continuously looking for opportunities to enhance our menus. One of the greatest example is actually the shaved snow with mango that we launched recently. That is actually a blend of Taiwanese tradition as well as adapting to the market. The xiaolongbaos at Din Tai Fung, it's actually both. So not just the flavor, but as well as the skills to train all of our team members to make this item. It's really unique. Starting from the ingredients, we're using all Korubuta pork because for its flavor, texture, and as well as the great marblings, they actually provide a depth to the dish. And then for the skill-wise, as I mentioned earlier, all the skill sets takes around 3 to 6 months to train a new hire. It's a lot of investments like we have to spend for our dumpling team member to ensure they're actually making the product that it's up to standard before we can actually serve to our guests. So for the wrappers, we actually want to ensure we actually follow the consistency as well. It should be a circular round shape. Diameter is around 7 to 7.5 centimeters. And then as you can, I'm not sure if you can see, but the tortillas or the wrappers itself, it's actually really thin on the outside layer and thicker in the center, because that's where the next step, the filling or the stuffing process, we have to push down the stuffing. So we want to ensure we stuff up to 16 grams of the stuffing. We want to ensure that all the stuffing goes to the center. So all the edge should be leaving clean to ensure we give them the space to wrap or to close. And then we want to ensure we actually measure each and every single pieces of the dumplings to ensure the consistencies are being upheld. Everything is being maintained. Like we can't have over 20 pieces of the xiaolongbao stuffed on the table as it will be dried out. For the closings or the folding of the xiaolongbao, we're using a technique called pinching. So we're pinching the fold all together to one point. And then this is where our golden ratio belongs, the 18 fold. We do 5 and 5 and 5, and then the last 3, we're closing up the xiaolongbao in a little twist. So that's how we get our 18 fold xiaolongbaos with our golden ratio. So for culinary department, we actually work really close with our supply chain team. And that is one of the projects when I first started, we work really closely to look for the premium ingredients for all the dishes. We want to ensure every single ingredient we use are going back to one of our core value, excellence, where it provides consistency, because that is something we don't want to miss. So every time the guests come in, they can enjoy the same. The only way we can enhance the consistencies on all the dishes we serve is by following the same SOPs. We have different department certifications that the culinary department will actually visit stores to validate them on site. So with that being said, I can ensure that all the dishes that we cook in each location, it's the same. We want to ensure not just the presentation, but the flavor, as well as the texture of all the ingredients in the dish are up to standard. So I'm actually holding my team really at the high standard, where we want to cook with great care, because that is something we valued. Cooking the xiaolongbao, we just want to ensure we start the timer immediately to ensure we actually monitor the time of cooking so we don't overcook. But there's actually visual cue, as the steam is always inconsistent in terms of every single one order or how many orders we're cooking. 10 seconds before the cook time is over, we usually take a look to ensure all the visual cue actually meet the standard before we can actually serve the xiaolongbao to our guests. Couple things you will see once it's overcooked, it's the shape will not stay, or the meat texture or the fillings become drier because all the stuffings are melted. So the texture of the protein become a little dry. Now it's the 10 seconds. I'll just open and take a little peek to ensure, because the secret, the xiaolongbao, it's like we actually want to ensure all the soups coming out from the stuffing. As now, our dumpling is ready. Just want to ensure we maintain all the steam for our guests. So when the dumpling delivered to the tables, when we open or when the server opens, it can have steam coming out from the steamer. If I have to choose an advice to give to someone who wants to join the culinary team, is don't limit yourself to one thing. I'm actually at the head chef position because I believe I don't want to limit myself. As I mentioned, I actually start with front of house. Back then, I thought I will only stay in front of house until retired, but just due to the opportunities or the job openings in Din Tai Fung, the CEO actually asked me if I want to try. And I actually take the offer and learn everything from ground up, and I became the head chef of Din Tai Fung. So that is something I really want to let anyone who wants to join culinary team to consider, is don't limit yourself to any one thing. There's so much opportunities because you never know what opportunities are upcoming. So once you have the opportunity, just grab it and go from there. For me, I am not the traditional chef in terms of I didn't went through culinary schools. So everything I learned is from hands-on experience. So I learned everything in the back of house, in the kitchen, in Din Tai Fung. But I truly believe that both ways are really valuable. In terms of going through a culinary school, you will learn a lot more knowledge, and then going from hand-on experience, that it's actually you will have 100% knowledge on what you're making. So with the blend of this two, it will make you more successful. I don't think anyone can stop learning on a daily basis. And then in order to be successful, you just need to update yourself. You need to stay on the trend to learn all the most updated knowledge and to see if you can bring it to the team to improve or to enhance the current procedures.